The Mishnah, which is a written collection of the Jewish oral tradition, lists only one gate on the western wall, and this is what is written. The two Huldah gates are at the south, used for entry and exit. Kiponus in the west, used for entry and exit. Taddi at the north, not used. The eastern gate, on it, Shushan capital shape. Yosef ben Matityahu, also known by his Roman name, Josephus Flavious, was born in Jerusalem at the beginning of the 1st century and was in Jerusalem during the time the Romans destroyed the Second Temple in the year 70. In his book, The Jewish Antiquities, he writes as follows. In the western parts of the Temple Mount wall, there were 4 gates. One that faced the king's palace through the valley in the middle that was crossed, 2 to the suburb, and the last gate to the rest of the city. If we refer to the western wall of the Temple Mount, then a suggestion was made in the past that the differences between the two sources regarding the number of gates reflects different periods of time during the days of the Second Temple period. While Yosef ben Matityahu's description reflects the appearance of the mountain after it was expanded during Herod's time, the Mishnah reflects the ancient form of the mountain before it was expanded. Is this reason correct? There is no clear answer. But let's assume that there is something to the claim. How do we explain the difference between 4 gates according to Ben Matityahu and 1 gate according to the Mishnah? So since we do know that both Robinson Arch and Wilson Arch were built by Herod dynasty, we are left with 2 gates that we know of. One is Barkley Gate and the other is Warren Gate. Both of them cannot be explored on the inner side of the Temple Mount in light of the limitation of the Muslim Waqf. And therefore, if we continue with the same line of thought, then one of them is the Kiponus gate. I will add another point for thought. There is also the possibility that the Kiponus gate has not yet been found, and the topic is covered extensively in the dedicated video on Kyponus Gate on the Historical Sites in Israel YouTube channel or website. Barkley Gate is located in the western wall below the Mugrabi Gate, about 80 meters north of the southwest corner of the Temple Mount. This gate was discovered by James Turner Barkley in the mid-19th century. Barkley was an American doctor, missionary, and archaeologist, and one of the first archaeologists in Jerusalem. In the early 1850s, Barkley identified a kind of lintel of an entrance gate to the Temple Mount in the southern corner of the Prayer Plaza. The gate led under the Temple Mount area and stairs ascending from it to the Temple Mount Square. Barkley Gate is located where the women's prayer area in the Western Wall Plaza. You can see the northern part of the gate frame and the stones that block its opening. Its lintel is made of one stone that is 2 meters high and 7 meters long. It is a stone weighing many tens of tons. As you can see, the gate's lintel is at a height of 3 stone tiers above the floor and is hidden by the structure that is in the southwest corner of the women's praying area. From the area of the Temple Mount, there is an access through an underground mosque called Maqam el-Burak to Barkley's Gate. The gate has not been scientifically studied because it is not possible to gain access to it from the inside. So its identification is uncertain. I'm currently showing pictures of the Barkley Gate from the Temple Mount compound from within the mosque. The distance between the two side pillars of Barkley Gate is 5.6 meters, and its height from the lintel to the threshold is 7.8 meters. According to the Mishnah, all the openings and gates that were at the Temple Mount, their height was 20 cubits and the width was 10 cubits. The exact size of a cubit is not given to us, but we are given the ratio between the height and the width of the gate, which should have been 2:1. And this does not match the ratio between 7.8 and 5.6, which is 1.4. In the context of the street level, it is worth noting that following the destruction of the Second Temple, back in the days of the Romans, the walls were partially destroyed and a large number of the wall stones were thrown onto the paved street. In the centuries after the destruction, in some places along the walls, the inhabitants of the city built their houses over the ruins so that the street level rose in this part of the city. This process continued over the generations until the surface level in the 19th century was many meters higher than the surface level in the days of the Second Temple. According to Ben Dov, and based on his excavations in the area south of Barkley Gate, the street from the Second Temple period was uncovered, and this street helped to understand the true height of the gate's threshold during the Second Temple period. With that, the original height of the gate from the original street level at the time of the Second Temple to its lintel is slightly more than 11 meters. Now we have that the ratio between the height, just over 11 meters, and the width of the gate, which is 5.6 meters, is 2:1. And hence, the length of the cubit used in the construction of the gate was 56 centimeters. The result obtained is that the Barkley Gate corresponds to the dimensions and the ratio between the height and the width as described in the Mishnah. It is important to note that there were at least two values of cubits, and it is possible that the 56 centimeters value was used for the gates, while in the temple or in other section a different value was used. And to conclude, as usual, I have a question for you. Apart from his discovery of the Barkley Gate, James Turner Barkley discovered another important site in Jerusalem. What is the site? The answer will appear in 5 seconds.